Okay, here we are at Bellreeve Oval, a magnificent stadium. It wasn't always like this. I started my semi-professional football career here in 1979 when it was a bit more of a sort of paddock sort of situation. But my football career didn't start here. It started in 1966 at Wirksworth, a magnificent grounding for everyone, footballers aspiring, 1966.
So Brian, 1980 I picked up this award, Most Improved. I kicked 2,500 goals that year. I should have won the bloody best and fairest. Sorry? Oh, we're on. G'day viewers and welcome to All Things PFA. Tonight we're going to be talking about all things PFA. But most of all, we're going to be talking about the upcoming Legends event on Friday, December the 8th at Blundstone Arena. Yes, that's right, we're inducting a new legend on that night. It's at the Clarence Club Rooms. It'll cost you $10. You can buy drinks over the bar, and we're also going to be unveiling the PFA Team of the Century. Beautiful. Now for a bit of history. Take it away, Brian. Now for a true understanding of the history of the PFA, we need to look no further than Wirksworth House. Built in 1888 for the family of a local solicitor, it included the magnificent family home and the beautiful parkland surrounding. After several changes in ownership, at the end of the Second World War, it was gifted to the Crown. Here it became the centrepiece for the education department, hosting holiday camps and a physical activities training centre. It was also used to open Clarence High School in 1959. In steps Des Lewis. Des Demon Lewis was a respected sportsman and had a remarkable football career with North Hobart, winning a flag in 1941 and again in 1946 at the Sandy Bay Football Club, where he played over 150 games. In 1958, Des married Rhonda and lived in Wirksworth House for a short period after being employed by the Education Department. Des got his degree shortly after and moved into 60 Alexandra Esplanade, where the Lewis clan had its beginnings. With two magnificent world standard arenas to play on, PFA was born. Oh, that's beautiful, Brian. Did you put that together? Yeah? Well done. Okay, I asked President David Lewis his thoughts on the history of the PFA.
Well, 1966, I was 6 and Punky was 4, and I remember wearing Des's number 14 Sandy Bay Guernsey with a seagull on it, and him out there kicking with Scott, with Mark and I, and trying to teach us how to, kick stab kicks. Then of course you've got Webster, he's always about, and you've got Humphrey from up the road. So it started way back in 66, on the eve of when Des Lewis first took Punky and I here to Bellreeve. We came to a first game around that time. So it all started way back then, but it continued on. And then even when we'd grown up and got away from it, Joey Freeman and my brother Scott and his mates continued to play. So it probably lived on and still lives on to this day. This is where it all started, our childhood growing up around here. Can you remember when you first started being taught drop kicks by Demon in the paddock in 1966?
Yes, Demon was a great coach, as we all know. A great coach. I mastered the drop kick. You did very well, Moose. Punky was good at it. Humphrey had a bit of trouble.
Oh yeah. He revolutionised a different form of drop kick though.
The toe, he kicked it over his head.
He did. He's the only bloke ever in the history of football to kick a drop kick over his head.
I've seen goals kicked over the head, but they're drop punts. Not drops.
But your memories of the place?
Oh, it's changed a lot.
Oh, a lot.
But it brings back lots of good memories too. I'm glad this hasn't changed, but behind us, it's completely different to what I remember most.
Well, both PFA fields are sort of gone. Can you remember playing out here?
Vaguely. Mainly cricket.
Tell us about some cricket stories out here.
Tide test was played here, Moose.
I can't remember the Tide test.
Can't you remember the Tide test? You and I were the last batsman in.
Really?
I thought it was the last over, there was an over to go.
So what happened
Went
there?
for a quick run, got run out.
Can you remember Humphrey being timed Timing Joey Townsend's bowling speed.
Humphrey in the station wagon,
Yeah,
motoring down the wing, timing
Yeah.
Joey's delivery.
yeah, correct. So Humphrey we were all ahead of our time.
Definitely, definitely.
Anyway,
What remnants of the hedge, Mose? Remember the hedge? We'd climb from one end of the hedge.
where is the hedge?
Well, there's a little bit left of it there.
And it used to go
We'd
right down
work
there.
our way without touching the ground. That was the
Yeah,
objective.
that's right.
Touch the ground, you have to go back to the start.
Yeah, great childhood memories.
And it's the burning question that everybody asks. What does it really mean to play PFA?
An honour, particularly as that was our backyard, and Des Lewis, you know, taught Punky and I to kick a stab kick, Wally Webster, Humphrey St Hill, because it was our backyard and it was such an important part of growing up. What more can you say, really? It meant so much to me. Look, PFA was such a big thing and a big part of our youth. Like, we're outdoor kids, and it's a bit like Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer going fishing all the time. We played footy, and then we rode our bikes and we played cricket. We weren't on devices like this. We weren't on computers. But it was just a great thing to do with your mates growing up. Whether they were footballers or not did not matter. Some players could really play, others couldn't. It didn't matter. It was just a great thing to do growing up. So to me, it's the fabric of our childhood.
Norm Smith, who was a Victorian Football League identity back in the, I think, 1950s and 60s. So they built a statue of him. They've named a medal after him. So I'm wondering, we're just going to walk around this establishment, the stadium, and see where the statue of Desmond Demon Lewis is.
Now, I caught up with some luminaries to discuss the founding principles of the PFA. Check this out.
Okay, now the three defining principles of PFA were courage, commitment and innovation. Now, it took a lot of courage because we played as kids, that was easy, but then as we grew into adolescence, some kids developed physically and others didn't. I can remember standing on the wing in absolute awe of Damien Barnard and Bill Blaisley, who had bloody full-grown beards, and my balls hadn't dropped. So the courage aspect was huge. Innovation, well, we moved the ball quickly. We looked for Wackahall at one end of the ground, we looked for St Hill at the other. So we're into innovation. And look, commitment. The commitment was huge because when we grew up, we were 17, 18 still playing with massive hangovers of a Sunday. That, ladies and gentlemen, is commitment.
The best 5 footballers ever, John? Geez, that's a tough one. I guess Lee Matthews would be in there. You'd have to say Ablett, Matthews, Hall, Lockett, St Hill. That'd be my 5.
G'day viewers, and welcome to the PFA Vault, where we're going to talk about spearhead theory. That's right, and we're going to use this book here, Mind Footy, Dare to Win. It's the PFA handbook written by Des Demon Lewis. And in there he explains that spearhead theory is basically one full forward with 22 followers. All you had to do was pass it to the full forward and he'd kick goals. Now, many people think that Dennis Pagan invented this back in the 70s. But of course it's not true. In this book I've discovered a photo of Demon Lewis talking to Dennis Pagan back in 1972. I wonder what they were talking about.
The MCG, the famed MCG, where Pagan's paddock happened. Well ahead of Pagan's paddock, we had our own paddock. We had the same system. We had 2 power forwards in St Hill and Hall and the rest followers, well before Pagan did his stuff. And the thing is about those key forwards, those power forwards, one of my best memories. The year St Hill kicked 2,300 goals, people said they'd never see that again. The next year, Hall kicks over 3,000. They were true legends of the game.
Okay, so one of the key principles of PFA was innovation. Wally, can you take us through the spearhead theory?
The spearhead theory, that was Pagan's AFL theory. Oh, no, I think he might have spoken to Demon. Demon said the spearhead was to have a full forward at each end.
Correct. And who were they?
Hall at one end, St Hill at the other.
Yes, and where did everyone else play?
Wherever they wanted to.
Correct.
On the ball. Demons say
And
go
this
on the
is
ball.
in the 70s, and that's how the game's played today. Innovative.
PFA has come a long way.
So I'm just standing in front of the statue of Shane Warne, a great cricketer, of course, who played here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Now, a legend has it back in the 1850s when they first started playing the game of Australian rules football, the cricketers wanted their players to play a new game, Australian rules football, in the winter to stay fit for cricket. But I think at PFA level, I think the boys playing football played cricket in the summer to stay fit for the next footy season. Now, cricket for the PFA legends was a different sort of game, of course, but very innovative. We did invent night cricket. We did have lights, probably from Wally Webster's headlights of his car, and we played in the pitch dark. Now, I remember St Hill coming into bat one day. It was about 10:30 at night, pitch black, on a 20-metre pitch. Bowlers bowling at 130, 140 kilometres an hour. And someone said to him, "Do you want a protector, Humphrey? For your, a box, for your genitals, because these guys are bowling quick and it's dark, you can't see." Humphrey just looked at the guy who asked him that question and just showed him his bat and said, "I've got all the protection I need here."
Well, there you have it. And now it's montage time. We've got some old photos and some groovy music to get you in the mood. Take it away, Brian. So, okay, viewers, that's it for the true history of the PFA. And we'll see you on Friday, the 8th of December at the Clarence Club Rooms at Blundstone Arena for our Legends Induction Night. See you then.
So we have circumnavigated the Melbourne Cricket Ground Stadium and we haven't been able to find the statue of Demon Lewis. I'm just thinking that perhaps the sculptor couldn't get the nuance of him holding the pipe correct. Would have been a difficult job. I'm sure they're still working on it. So when we come back here in a couple of years' time, we'll no doubt see that statue erected prominently, no doubt, next to Ronald Dale Barassi.